Hello, YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. This is Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here with another live stream today. And Guy says, nice music. Thank you, Guy. That was off of the previous Manasota EP called Bimini Road. And that is available at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com as well as on all the streaming services. And actually, that's why we're here today. Well, one of the reasons, not for that particular release, but for this one. Oh, wait, let me get that player out of the screen. This one. So, As the Sun Rises, Deluxe Edition by Manasota, finally is here. I got the CDs today. I'm super stoked about them. They look really awesome. Digipack. And I'm going to go over all this. We're going to listen to the whole thing. I think the whole thing. And, just talk about music and stuff like that. And what went into producing this CD, which you can pick up at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. And it's only $10. So go there and buy one. And that will definitely make my day. So, yeah, check it out. But anyway, I'm going to wait for a few more people to get on here before we get heavily into the chat. But I just wanted to let everybody know that today I actually can see the Facebook chat. So if you're there on Facebook, I can see that. It doesn't work. Facebook chat's weird. Like, they're the only one that doesn't play nice with the Restream chat app. For some reason, I just can't see Facebook chat in Restream, but I can see it everywhere else. So that's how I'm doing all this whole thing, like getting it live out to so many different outlets at the same time by using something called Restream.io, where I can actually I can broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch all at the same time. And it's real weird, though. I don't see anybody. I want to make sure. Okay, now I see somebody there. Guy says, I liked your glary bass review. Well, I didn't do a glary bass. I did a Donner bass. I don't have a glary bass. I have a Donner bass. I did a glary acoustic guitar. Maybe that. Well, I don't know which one you're thinking of. The Donner bass is great, though. I really like that bass. But thanks. Thanks for checking it out. So, yeah, let me just show you guys here. Oh, Bob Williams. Hey there on Facebook, Bob. Nice to see you, man. Or nice to see your chat bubble. Bob and I go way back, years and years ago, back in Morgantown, West Virginia, where I grew up. And me and Bob used to play in a band called Egoslovia. Still a great name. I still think that's just such a good name, Egoslovia. Put up some drumming vids, says Bob. Bob, I have tons of drumming vids. What are you talking about, man? Oh, I guess I don't on Facebook. Sorry. Facebook to me is more like a messenger app because I don't really use it very much. I was off of Facebook for years just because I think it's toxic. So I stopped using it. But I'm trying to book shows right now for Demonic Sweaters, and a lot of places you need to contact through Facebook Messenger. So that's really why I started up Facebook again. And it's easy for me to just, rebroadcast these streams over Facebook, so I just do it anyways. But I don't really post a whole lot there. I don't even have the timeline. Like, I have something called timeline blocker on Facebook. So I can't see my Facebook timeline just because I feel like it, the reason why I left was because it just wastes so much time, and there's just, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it. But so anyway, not enough with my Facebook rant. Well, Bob, I also do lessons online, and there's a lot of them on my YouTube channel. So definitely check out youtube.com/demonicsweaters, and I have a whole playlist full of drum lessons on there, and I usually try to do them live. And there's a couple live ones here on Facebook that, when I was rebroadcasting through everything. And I think there's something wrong with my Restream chat. I see people chatting, but it says there's no people there. So I'm going to try to restart that and see if that fixes it. Let's open that back up. And, nope. Oh, yeah. Now, okay, so now I see you guys there. But all the previous chats disappeared So if you asked a question and I didn't answer it, feel free to ask it again, because I don't see it there. The only one I still see is Facebook. So, yeah, well, the whole reason why, well, you know, actually, I didn't really plan this perfectly, because I wasn't sure if this was actually going to show up today. I kind of thought it might, but it did, so I was like, well, I'll do the live stream about that. But I also, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try something I've never really tried before. Back there, I have my other streaming set up on my drums. So after we go through the CD here and talk about that, then I'm going to switch over to the drums and play a little bit, and maybe go over a couple of things that I play on the CD, so you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm doing in some of these songs. So if it works, I don't know if I can end the stream here and then reconnect over there. I think I can. I think I've done that before. As long as I use the same, like stream code or whatever it is, I think it'll work. But we'll try that here in a little bit. So anyway, As the Sun Rises, let me just tell you guys a little bit about this CD and Manasota in general, in case you didn't know. Manasota is, it's another project of mine. I mean, Demonic Sweaters was my original project when I started this channel, and Manasota was stuff that I started doing that didn't really fit in the Demonic Sweaters, brand or whatever, even though Demonic Sweaters tends to cover a huge variety of music. But Manasota was the first one I did was in 2016, and I recorded this group of songs, and I started to notice they really had a really matching sound throughout. So I was like, I wanted to create some other project, so I came up with the Manasota idea. And Manasota is actually named after this little island. Well, it's Manasota Key off the west coast of Florida, that in 2005, 2006, around there, I was living in that area, and that was also the time where I stopped using drugs and drinking. And so it was kind of this place where I found to be like really healing. I would go ride my bike down Manasota Key, and it's just this beautiful, like, tropical Canopy Road, and there was hardly ever anybody there. And I just found it to be really peaceful, and it was really helpful during that time in my life to get over all that stuff, and just to, make me feel better in general. And, like, I always felt, like, really, really good about that place, and so that's where the name Manasota came from. And Guy asked me, how did I come up with the name Demonic Sweaters? That actually was something I read in a article by that televangelist Pat Robertson. He said that you shouldn't buy sweaters from thrift stores because they can be possessed by demons, and I just thought that was really funny, and so that's where the name came from. But yeah. So, oh, hey, Sebastian, how's it going? And Sebastian says, I love the track Canopy Road. And thanks. That's on the first one, the self-titled release. Now, I should grab that too, so you guys can see. I'll get it here in a little bit. But the first album by Manasota, self-titled one, was released on 180-gram vinyl. And I did that one via a Kickstarter campaign. And a lot of people helped me out to get that one made, because vinyl is very expensive. But it got made, much to my surprise. It got backed, and I was able to make the vinyl. And I still have many for sale, because you can't just produce it. Well, you can now, but back then it was harder to find short-run vinyl. You couldn't just produce like 100 copies of vinyl, so I have a lot. And those are on sale as well at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com for $10 as well. And I am going to do some kind of package. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that, because then you guys will wait for the package. But I don't know what I'm going to do. For now, they're for sale, $10 each. We have the CD and the vinyl. So please go there and pick one up. Either one is great, but this is the new one, As the Sun Rises Deluxe. But, okay, where was I? So, Sebastian says, I love the track Canopy Road, and like I said, that's on the first one. And the Canopy Road title, that's because of I used to ride my bike down this road. It was like a canopy, and if you just Google it, just say Manasota Key Canopy Road, you'll find photos of it. It's like really pretty, really, really pretty area. And So that's where that title came from. So anyway, I recorded that first one in 2016. I think it came out in 2017. And then I didn't really do any Manasota stuff for a few years. And I started working, I wanted to do another one, and I started working on this second album in 2019, pre-pandemic. And that was As the Sun Rises. And I started working on that, and I recorded a few songs. And at that time, I didn't have anywhere that I could record acoustic drums. And so I was like, you know, I was kind of working with what I had at the time. I had this Alesis Nitro electronic drum kit. And I recorded some stuff with that for As the Sun Rises 2019 while I was recording. And, you know, the way I was thinking about it then was like, I was just thinking that they were like placeholder drums, you know, until I got a place where I could record my acoustic kit and, you know, finish the album the way I wanted to. And then the pandemic happened. And so that basically stopped me dead in my tracks from recording. It just, I don't know, my mindset, I just wasn't in the same mindset as I was. I was on a good roll in the beginning, and I think I recorded like throughout, you know, like late summer into early fall of 2019, recording some of the tracks. And then the pandemic happened, and I got out of that and started working on some Demonic Sweater stuff. And then I got COVID. And when I was sick with COVID, I was laying in my bed a lot and just playing guitar. And that's where this album, Bimini Road, came about. Well, it's actually an EP. That's why this record is all guitar. It's just all electric guitar, and I recorded it with my little Zoom PSO4 handheld recorder, and I recorded it while I had COVID. Like, I was just laying there in bed watching, you know, binge watching TV and just, you know, playing stuff on the guitar, and like I just came up with this group of songs, and it all just sort of came out like really easily and fast. And so I was like, well, these are, you know, I'm going to put this together into some kind of EP. And I just, you know, quietly released Bimini Road kind of before even completing As the Sun Rises, and got that whole thing, you know, put together. And it's, you know, it's just a few songs, but I was really happy with the way it sounded. And then after working on some more Demonic Sweater stuff, I was like, well, I need to finish up As the Sun Rises, because that was the one I started in 2019. So I started work on that again and finished it up. And then I had a drum room then, but it was really, really tiny, and I wasn't really happy with the way the drums were recording in there. But I didn't really mind the way that the Alesis Nitro drums sounded on the original version. Like, I thought they were okay. They weren't what I originally wanted, but I thought they were okay. So I put the whole thing together and released it last year in 2020. So I know it's a long-winded story. I'm getting to the point here. After I moved into a new studio and I picked up this old Pearl drum set, 1969 Pearl drum set, I started doing some recordings in that new studio with that drum set, and I was really loving the way the drums were sounding when I was recording them. And I was like, this is the sound I wanted on As the Sun Rises, you know, as I was hearing that. So I was like, well, I'm just going to re-record all these songs. And so that's what I did. I went back in and I re-recorded all the drums to the songs on As the Sun Rises. And then I started working on some other stuff too. Like, I had some more ideas, and some new songs came about that weren't on the original version. And then I started remixing the whole thing, and it ended up being kind of a very different release, actually. It's got the majority of the songs are the same, but there's a few on there that are not on the original one, and there's a few on the original one that are missing off of this one. All of them, 100% of them, have been remixed completely, remastered, and all have new drum recordings on them. So this version has 10 songs. The original version had 8 songs, and 3 of those songs are different, like I said, or new, rather. 3 of them are new, and 2 of them from the original are missing. So the track listing now, well, actually, I should just play some of these, and well, I'm going to play through the whole thing, and then we'll listen to it, and then I'll talk about the tracks, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and play the first track off of the Deluxe Edition, which is called The Horse That Wasn't a Horse. That title actually comes from a story I heard. There's a podcast I listen to a lot called Astonishing Legends Podcast that I just really love. That podcast. Like, these guys are, it's kind of like a, you know, unexplained paranormal type podcast, but these guys dig in really deep and go really, really deep into the research and all this stuff. And there was this guy on there talking about this encounter he had with this horse on a farm that he saw in a distance, like galloping towards him, and he thought it was moving very strange. And then when it got up close to him, for some reason, he just got this overwhelming sensation that it was not a horse, that it was some other type of being. And I know it's very vague, but the way the guy told it, I just thought it was a really interesting concept. And he said the way it was running almost seemed like ethereal, like almost like it was like a spirit or something, and it just didn't quite look right. And then when it got up close, there was something about its face that just did not seem like a horse. It seemed more like a person, he thought. And so that's where this title comes from. And it's just called The Horse That Wasn't a Horse. And I'm going to play this one. And also this one I recorded kind of right after the Bimini Road stuff. So it kind of has a similar vibe to that kind of thing, where it's just guitar. And this is the intro to the album. So let me just go ahead and play it, and I'll shut up. And I'm going to mute my mic. I'll answer in chat. All right, so that was The Horse That Wasn't a Horse, the first song on As the Sun Rises Deluxe Edition by Manasota. And I was just showing you guys the CD there. You can order that at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. It's only $10. Shipping in the U.S. I forget what the shipping is to Europe. Whoops, let me pause that. I forget what the shipping is everywhere else, but it tells you if you could just go to the checkout there. But if you could, go pick one up. That's definitely helpful to me. Merchandise is, especially physical music, is pretty hard to sell these days, but I wanted to do something. You know, I spent a lot of time on this album. I wanted to make it, you know, something other than just a digital release. And vinyl was out of the question just because it's so expensive. And I didn't really want to do vinyl again. And plus, they take up a lot of room under my bed. I have so many in there from the first one. Let me read some of the comments. Guy says, nice ambient guitar. Thanks, Guy. And Jake, I feel spoiled with the serenity of living in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's beautiful up there. And Robert says, really nice and floaty, dreamy sounds. Thank you, Robert. Sebastian says, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful places here. I wish I could visit more of those places, but I can't because of the virus. Oh, yeah. Let me show you guys some of the artwork here and tell you about some of these photos. Now, this first photo here was actually taken at a park. What's the name of that park? Crud. I can't remember the name of the park, but it's in Florida. It's near Inglewood, and actually this was taken on a trip that I did. I did a biking trip. This was actually kind of crazy. I went on a biking trip alone where I went camping, and my whole plan actually was originally to go all the way up like Florida, like the west coast of Florida, but I didn't make it that far. I only went about 4 or 5 days, but still it was a lot of fun. It wasn't even 4 or 5 days. What am I saying? It was like 3 days. But the reason why I had to stop was because just so happened when I planned on going, we got hit by this crazy like tropical storm. And so I was just like riding through intense rain and just in like every time I got to a camping place to set up, it was like raining super hard and like I couldn't start a fire or anything. And so this day though, I woke up, this was the day that I rode back home. I woke up in that park. I wish I could remember what the name of it was. It was a state park on the west coast of Florida somewhere. But I woke up and it was finally getting sunny again. But at that point, I was kind of over it. And so I was just like, I'm just going to go home. But I managed to get this really cool photo when I woke up in the morning. And actually it extends front and back. And I was camping like not too far away from here. And I just snapped this photo. This was taken a while ago. This was that photo was probably taken in 2006. And then to, kind of offset that juxtaposition on the inside, we have Brooklyn. This was taken in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. That's the Williamsburg Bridge. And this was taken a while ago too, probably like 2012. Let me move the audio player out of the way. Probably taken in 2012. Thereabouts. I think it was 2012, because down here, other side, down here, this is not empty anymore. This is filled with a bunch of crap now. There used to be a lot of like nothing down there on the water in Williamsburg, but now it's just packed down there. There's like no empty space at all. So this I took back then, and this I think I took before I even moved here. But only like a few months before I moved here. I came to visit my sister who lives here, and took that photo when I was visiting. And then the CD, and Sebastian says, oh dude, you use the UFO Towers on the CD. Yeah, that's actually a place in Queens, New York as well. Well, the other one was Brooklyn, but this is in Queens. This is a park called Corona Flushing Meadows Park. And these towers are actually, they're in movies like Men in Black and things like that. And I love that park. It's a really, really cool park. And so I took this, actually this is the most recent photo I've taken on this whole CD. I took this one probably in 2018 or something. So yeah, it's just, I wanted to combine the concept of Manasota being the Florida, nature-y stuff combined with the, where I am now, which is in New York City, and the cementy metal type stuff you see in New York City, which is beautiful in its own way. It's a different type of beauty. It's more of an ugly beauty, but it is cool though. I mean, New York's got it's definitely a cool place. Let me read some of the comments. Lenny says, hello from Vancouver, Canada. We be digging it, bro. Thanks, Lenny. And Sebastian, I didn't know As the Sun Rises had been such a long time spanning process. Yeah, like I said, the recording of it started in 2019. And like I said before, please, if you can, help me out. Go to anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. Pick one of these up. They're only $10. I have a whole box sitting right behind me of them. They're all shrink wrapped and brand new. They're just hot off the press. They came today, and I'll get it out to you right away. If you order it right now, I'll get it out to you either later today or tomorrow. So let's move on to the next song. on here, and this is the title track. And this one, I have to admit, is my favorite song on the whole album. Not to, well, I don't know. The rest of them are good too, but there's just something about this one. I've just, I recorded this originally, the music part of it, like the guitars and bass and everything, in a YouTube video. And actually, the first one too, as The Horse That Wasn't a Horse, was also a YouTube demo. So some of these were reworked YouTube demos. And this song coming up is one of those. But I think once I added the acoustic drums, the 69 Pearl, it really just brought this track to life, and I really think it sounds just so nice. And this one I really think could be a theme for something. Like, I don't know what, but I'm going to go ahead and play it and shut up. Let me mute my mic. And this is the title track off of As the Sun Rises Deluxe Edition, and this is just called As the Sun Rises. So here we go. All right, that was As the Sun Rises, off of As the Sun Rises Deluxe Edition by Manasota. And you can pick that up at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. The link's in the chat. And yeah, that one was just guitar, fretless bass, synthesizer, and drums. And pretty straightforward, but I don't know, just that melody. It was one of those things that I just picked up a guitar and just played it, and I don't know, the melody sounds like it could be something, but I don't know if I like subconsciously took that riff from somewhere or what, but I've never found what it could be. It's just one of those things that's got this haunting melody to it that I don't know. There's just something that I feel like I lucked out on that one, and like the it just sounds like some kind of theme or something. I'm not really sure. Anyway, that one's one of my favorites off the album. And I don't want to spend too much time because talking in between, otherwise this stream's going to be like forever long. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next track. And the next one is called Bimini Boy. Now this one, I recorded... This one, it was a struggle, actually, to record. I recorded it several times. And... Well, actually, Jake, your question right now, you said, here's a question. How do you decide if a track is Demonic Sweaters or a Manasota song? Well, this is a good example of that because in the beginning, I originally thought this one was going to be a Demonic Sweaters song. But the more I kept hearing it, the more I was like, well, that doesn't really sound like Demonic Sweaters. It sounds more like Manasota. But originally, this one was going to have vocals. But I just could not get vocals to it that I liked. I recorded it so many times and tried so many different ideas with the vocals, and I just was not happy with it. So I ended up just doing an instrumental version and kind of played a lead with like a pan flute sound that is similar to one of the vocal melodies I had, and I liked it like that. So I was like, well, this is a Manasota song. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play it. It's called Bimini Boy, and this is the third song off of the Deluxe Edition. And this one is not on the original version. And neither was The Horse That Wasn't a Horse. Those two, so 2 new songs already. So here we go. This is Bimini Boy, Manasota. was Bimini Boy. And yeah, that pan, excuse me, that pan flute sound is the famous Kawai K1 pan flute. There's definitely several video games that it was on, in like the 90s Amiga games, and it was also part of a lot of sample discs for like trackers. Used to use that same exact pan flute sound, but that comes from the Kawai K1. And I have the synth that has it in it, but that particular sound in that song was actually the plugin. There's a Kawai K1 plugin now that has that in there. And I do think the synth sounds a little bit better. However, at the time, the synth was over at my studio, and I was like, I had the plugin here, so I just went ahead and used the plugin. I mean, it sounds pretty much the same. There's just a way that it expresses, I think, is better on the actual hardware than it is on the MIDI. But still, the sound is pretty much the same. But yeah, that's a great sound. I really love that Kawai. I use it in there's one more song on the album that has that same pan flute sound on it. And we'll get to that here in a little while. And JK says those transitions are awesome too. Thanks, Jake. So anyway, I'm sorry if I keep pushing this, but that's why I'm doing this stream. So go to anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com and pick up a deluxe edition CD of As the Sun Rises, what we're listening to here today. They're only $10. It's a great digipack CD, no jewel case here. It's got full color artwork. And I'm gonna read through after this next song. I'll read through the inside, the insert, and go through everything that's on here. But let me go ahead and play this next song because this is a long one. But it's also another. I mean, I'd say they're all my favorites, but they're my songs. So of course, you have to love your own music. This one though is a long one, and this one I really like. What changed? This one's quite a bit different from the original version. The drums are different, and there's some mixing changes and stuff like that. So the original version I liked, but this one I think really just made it a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and play it. It's called Return of the Woodstork. Woodstorks are a bird that you see a lot in that area of Florida, and they're a really cool looking bird. Just Google them. But here we go. Return of the Woodstork, and I'm going to play it right now. Okay, that was Return of the Woodstork off of As the Sun Rises Deluxe Edition. And like I said a million times already, but pardon me, I'm going to keep saying it. You can pick that up at anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. And please do. That would be really, really special if you could pick one of these up. They're only $10, and you can buy them. There's a link in the chat. And they look really great, I think. And I think they're really, really good product. So pick one up. And I was looking at the time. I'm not going to go through every single song just because of, time. Like, I don't want to be here for hours and hours, and I do want to get over to the drums and be able to play a little bit of drums for you guys. So I think I'm going to play one more song off of here, and then I'll switch over to the drum kit. And I want to talk about, too, on the drums, I was thinking I could show you guys some of the stuff I was doing in that song, because that song's got a cool groove to it. It's got a 5/4 type drum beat to it. And then maybe I'll also talk a little bit about this next one I'm going to play, too. Let's see. Alex says, greetings from sunny Leeds, UK. Enjoying the stream. Manasota reminds me of the prog and avant-garde my dad used to play in the car when I was a child. Oh, that's cool. Thanks. And JK says, I'm actually in a tower crane. Are you for real? That's crazy. You're watching me in a tower crane? That's awesome. And then Eric says, has a pinback style to it. Rob Crow. Pinback. Why that name sounds familiar, but I can't recall who they are. Yeah, there's moments of progness in that song. Some of it's not as prog. It's a little new agey at times, like, for sure. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit I like new age music. I'm just a fan of it. So, but anyway, let me go ahead and play one more song, and then I'm going to switch over to the drums and talk about how to play some of these grooves. And the one that I'm going to play, this is another one that's on the original version, but the original version actually didn't have drums to it. And I was just like, well, maybe I'll record drums to it and see how it sounds. And I ended up really liking it, actually. And this is also another one with that pan flute sound in it. So this song is called Gemstone. And this version is pretty different than the original version that's on the old version. But I like this one better. So anyway, here we go. This is called Gemstone. And I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic again and play it. All right, that was Gemstone. That one's definitely got like a Peruvian, South American type thing going on with the pan flute and all that. But yeah, that one, I think the drums really added a whole new element to it. Didn't have drums before, like I said, so I just added those in there. And that one's got kind of like a 6/8 kind of groove to it. And I wanted to, actually, before I switch over to the drum set too, read through the thank you list I have here on the CD. And this was just thanks to Victor Huang, my boyfriend, Christiani Werbonsky, Chelsea Werbonsky, Mary Hank, my mother, Stephen Werbonsky, my father, Nora Werbonsky, my stepmom, Tristan and Josie, Ronan Conroy, Chad Sine, Justin Gracer, Ian BW, Caden Starkey, Wyatt Johnson, Alex Huang, Satoshi Inoue, Nick Shapa, Hero, John Jaquis, Gonzalo Olivar, Chiaki Yamamoto, John Mitchelson, Chiara and Donner Musical Instruments, Daniel at DistroKid, Ginny and Helen at Sunflower Dance and Music, Tanner, Oscar, Brian, Audrey, and all of my drum students. Huge thanks to all of my YouTube subscribers and supporters. So anyway, I just wanted to read through that. Yeah, please go pick up one of these CDs. The shipping will go out very quick. They're only $10, and it's a nice digipack CD, and plus you'll be helping support the channel and supporting what I do here if you like these kind of videos and all that stuff and this kind of music. So go check it out. So anyway, I'm going to try to switch over to the drums. I think this should work. Basically, I'm going to be stopping the stream here and then starting it over there from a different computer, but I think I can do that as long as I connect to the same stream key. So I think that'll work. Eric says check out Pinback. You'll definitely love the albums Offcell and Blue Screen Life. Your sound is awesome. Totally dig it. Thank you, Eric. That's really cool. Thanks a lot. So okay, now how can I do this? I'm gonna put this screen on pause. I'll be in the be right back screen, and then I'm going to actually, while it's there, I have to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to go to the bathroom first and then switch over to the drums. So it should be like a minute or two. I should be over on the other camera. So let me go ahead and do that. So see you guys here in a few minutes. All right, it looks like that actually worked. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, I need to get my chat open up here. Can't see it. Sorry if there's some background noise. I have to have the fan blowing on me. There's like no way I can't have that right now. And the chat, since I just opened it here on this computer, I don't see the old chat. So if you asked something while I was, switching stuff around, ask again because I can't see it. So first off, let's make sure you guys can hear the drums. Looks like you can. All right, so very cool. That's good to know that I can switch over like that and keep the stream going. That's pretty cool. So I guess what I can show you guys first off is kind of that groove that I was playing in Return of the Woodstork, which is in 5/4. I talked about that a little bit in a stream a while ago, but actually it was more about the fill I did in there. There's like this one fill I did in there that I was trying to figure out in one of my live streams because I couldn't remember how to do it. But the basic groove is in 5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I'm playing more. That's a real simplified version. I'm doing like a lot of like little accents and some hi-hat stuff in there. And a lot of times when I do stuff like that, it's kind of randomized a little bit. Like I'll be like, so, JK says, sounds good. Stream switch worked. Good. Thanks, man. So my approach to playing odd times is really, I mean, I talked about this before, like especially 5/4, I think is a good odd time signature to start with because it's not that hard, really. All you have to do is just add an extra beat. So you just play any 4/4 beat, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just add an extra beat to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. You're instantly playing in 5. So 5/4 is a great first odd time signature to play, I think. And it's fun to play too. For me, like sometimes when I'm doing like things in 9 or 7, like it's harder for me to do fills, you know, without thinking. With 5, that's not really the case. 5, I can do a fill just as easily as I can in 4/4, because just putting that extra beat in there really doesn't take that much extra thought for me. It's pretty easy, and like I end up doing stuff like, you know. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. So it's a lot of fun. 5/4 is like super fun to play in. It's really easy to, you know, just kind of basically transition over from playing 4/4 to something in 5/4. I don't think it's that difficult. I mean, it's probably difficult the first time you ever do it, but once you get in that groove, it's like really easy to latch onto it. One of the things I can say too is always start with a click. You know, if you don't know, if you've never played to an odd time, either play to a click or like an odd timed groove. You know, a piece of music, something like a loop or something. Music is very helpful, obviously. Like the more music you play to, the better. I know this stream's a little weird because I switched over from promoting an album to doing like a online drum lesson, but I did want to play the drums online, and I know a lot of you guys like to see me play the drums here on these streams, so yeah. Anyway, what else was I going to show you guys? Oh yeah, there's also the 6/8 version, 6/8 beat rather, that I'm playing in Gemstone, which is that one's pretty mellow. You know, it's kind of a, you know, I wasn't playing a lot of busy stuff in that song, but I still think it's a cool groove. It's just something like like that. And to get on some, you know, those kind of grooves actually can be, JK says, we like it all, dude. Thanks. Those kind of grooves actually can be harder than what I was just doing in 5. Because sometimes it's actually harder to kind of control yourself and like just play chill, you know, especially in something that's not, you know, a straightforward like 4/4 beat. You know, just keeping like, there's something I was doing on the hi-hat there that was like, which actually I'm not even sure what I'm doing. What is that? 1 E and 2. It's like a couple of 16th notes, you know, just leaving out 1 E and 2. So yeah, I mean, to do something like that, again, you just have to, you know, kind of get in that groove. And like if you're playing to either a click or a piece of music, I mean, actually, if you've never done something, you know, something other than 4/4, I really recommend, you know, I always say do a click, but I really recommend finding some kind of music you can play to, either jam with some people or, you know, get some kind of drum loop, you know, or music loop that you can play drums to, or drumless tracks or something that's in odd times or, you know, other than 4/4, and play along with those, because having some kind of melody to latch onto definitely makes things a lot easier, I think. If you're just counting, then sometimes it could be a little difficult. Like one of the things I'm noticing a lot, unfortunately, with some of my students these days is a lot of kids don't really listen to music. And I find that to be kind of sad. Like, I'll ask a kid, like, who's your favorite musician, or what's your favorite music? And they're like, I don't know. Like, they don't know. They don't have anything. Like, I think that's strange. When I was like 4, I already had a favorite band, and that was Devo. Like, I don't know. I find that to be very odd. Like, when I talk to a student and they're like 7, 8, or 9 years old and they just don't have any opinion of music or a favorite musician or artist. Why did I go off on this rant? Well, really, the reason is because if you find something you like, then you want to play it, it inspires you to play. And I also think that there's like this phenomena of kids being exposed to too much stuff these days, like too many different types of music, and there's no like scene to latch onto. Even though when I was a kid, when I was 4, there was no scene around me listening to Devo. When I was a 4-year-old, I just liked them for some reason. But I think that does have, like, later on I got into punk rock and stuff like that. Is my mic too hot? Later on I got into punk rock, and there was definitely a scene for punk in the mid to late 80s and early 90s. And, I was able to latch onto that and found a lot of music that I liked and that inspired me to play the drums. So if you're playing to stuff you enjoy, it's definitely helpful. And I've been trying to work on this with some of my students who don't necessarily have anything that they like. I've been trying to just play them stuff, and see if I can expose them to something that they like. So far, it hasn't really worked, but but I'm trying. It's like I'm trying all kinds of stuff. I'm trying everything from like classic rock to jazz to metal to punk, and most of the time they just think it's weird. But oh, Jack Plunkett, thanks for following. Anyway, yeah. So let me just let's do some 5/4 grooves again. And I'm going to mute my mic this time so it doesn't, like, the tapping of the drums doesn't come through as much. And I'm just going to, who's calling me? Oh, Scam Likely. Okay, cancel that. So, yeah, I'm just going to play these a little bit and play some 5/4 grooves for a little while and mute my mic. All right, so I'm just getting a little double trigger every now and then from my kick drum. Need to fix that. To fix that, let's go to, I think it's in Trigger Advanced. Turn up my mass time a little bit. That should fix it. Seems better. Ah, just did it again. Sean says, impressive. Thanks, man. Yeah, this bass drum's a little crazy, too, because I have my pedal. I put this, like, I made my own, like, DIY. I made a video about this. DIY noise eater pedal. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. But basically, I have mini tennis balls glued to the bottom of my pedals. So it absorbs the vibration on my floor. So I don't drive my neighbors too crazy, even though it still drives them crazy. But I try to only do it when they're at work, so that way I'm not totally driving them nuts. But pretty soon I'm actually going to be moving into a different room here, and I'm going to build a whole new drum platform. And I found these things. They're basically dryer, like washer and dryer and air conditioning noise shock absorbers. So I'm going to use those as like, you know, the way to isolate the noise for the drum platform. And we'll see how it works. I think it's going to be good. And also, you might have noticed here and like, you know, my last video, I've been using my TD6 rather than the TD27. And, sorry, I hate to break it to you guys, I sold the TD27. I know, people get, the thing is, the reason why I say sorry, I mean, it's my stuff. I can do whatever I want with it. But every time I sell a piece of gear on my channel, I seem to get some people that get mad at me because I sold it. They're like, oh, I thought you liked that. But I did like it. And there was nothing wrong with it. It's just that I like to try a lot of different pieces of gear, you know, and I cycle through things fairly quickly. Quicker than a lot of people. So I purchased a new synth, and I spent some other money and some other things, and I'm not rich. So I had that TD27, and I'm like, well, I got to pay off some credit card debt. So sold the TD27 and paid a good chunk of my bills there, and now I have the TD6 over here. And actually, I have two of these TD6s. So I can have the same exact setup here on my home kit as I can in my studio kit if I'm using the electronic drums over there. So that's very nice, and these modules are pretty inexpensive. You can't see it with where the camera is right now, but pretty inexpensive, and they sound really good. You know, honestly, I mean, the TD27 did sound a lot more realistic, but there's some qualities about the TD6 that I like a little better. I'm not saying that I didn't like the TD27. It's just like people get mad when that I don't have an Alesis Nitro anymore. I had several people get upset about that, and I just don't have space, you know. And honestly, you know, that was my first electronic drum set, the Nitro, well, first recent one, and it's good for the money, definitely. But if you want to really get into like playing electronic drums, there's a lot of things lacking from the Nitro that just make it, I don't know. I mean, for one, the hi-hats are just weird on the Nitro. And the fact that all the cymbals are single zone, that's a pretty tough thing to deal with. You know, I actually don't care if I have dual zone toms. You know, that means nothing to me. And over time, I realized that I don't even really care if I have a 3-zone ride. I just have 2 zones on here. Though I can rig this to work with 3 zones. There's a way to do that. It doesn't officially support it, but you can basically hack it to do it. But you can't even do 2 zones on the Nitro. You know, so having 2 zones on the cymbals and just having more expressive hi-hats makes a big difference. The snare drum is dual zone, but the snare drum being dual zone, I don't particularly care that much either. It's nice, you know, it's definitely cool, but it's not one of those things where I like absolutely have to have it. Like, I think it's weird actually on the Alesis kits how the Surge, rather than have dual zone cymbals, they give you dual zone toms. I find that to be a little strange, even though it's cool that you have all these extra sounds you can use. But it seems like they should have given, you know, the logical step up would have been dual zone cymbals, not dual zone toms. But I don't know. You can always put more cymbals on your tom rims on those, so I guess that kind of solves that. JK says, I hate my Nitro hi-hat. Yeah, well, when I had mine, I just made it really low. I just turned the volume way down. And that helped. It doesn't sound... I mean, honestly, no electronic drum hi-hat sounds amazing. None of them do. Even, like, if you listen to, like, the TD-50, like, if you really listen to it close, the Roland TD-50, they're top of the line, it still doesn't sound perfect. I mean, it sounds better, but I actually think the nicest sounding one is the F-Note, the F-Note 5. That's got to be one of the nicest sounding electronic drum kits I've ever heard. The F-Note 5, it sounds so good. Like, if you check out the Drum Tech video of that thing, and they just look really cool too. Those things sound amazing. The ATV stuff sounds pretty good. I do like the Roland TD27. I still think the TD27 and the TD17 sound better than the TD50. I don't know why, but, well, I know why. It's because they came out after. And the TD50X is kind of, you know, it's kind of an improvement on the TD50, but for the price of those kits, man, they really don't sound as good as they should, I don't think. I think the TD27 sounds better. Poop Beans says, do you still have the Alesis Nitro Mesh kit? Are you trolling me? I was just talking about that. With a name like Poop Beans, I'm going to assume you're trolling me. So, yeah. But that's why. I mean, I just have to cycle. I don't have limited space and limited money. So usually I'll buy something and then I'll sell something old, you know. And old to me can mean 3 months. You know, just depending on what it is. You know, some things I keep a long time. Like I have my Les Paul guitar that I've had for a pretty long time now for me. And what else? Certain cymbals and stuff that I own that I've had for a while. For a long time, the oldest piece of gear I ever had was a stand. Actually, I think that's still the case. Some cymbal stands are some of the oldest pieces of gear, but there's nothing like exciting about a cymbal stand. Like you buy a new cymbal stand, you're not like super excited about it. It's like, oh, I have something to hold my cymbal. You know, okay. But yeah, I had a hi-hat stand that I bought when I was like 13 or something. And I had that thing for a really, really long time. All the way up until like the early 2000s. Until this guy I was playing with somehow broke it when he was folding it. Like I have no idea like what kind of Herculean strength he was using to fold the hi-hat stand. But for some reason he managed to collapse the legs the opposite way. Like it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it was not like a lightweight stand either. It was like a double brace Tama stand. And I still, to this day, have no idea how he managed to fold it like that. And like he bent it so bad. I don't know. He was like drunk or something and had like that drunk superhuman strength. And like, but up until then, that was the oldest piece of gear I ever had. It stayed with me for a few decades and then finally got broken. But right now I have these 2 Ludwig flat bass stand, or 3 Ludwig flat bass stands. They're not here right now. They're on the other kit. But those things I've had since like 2005, so they're pretty old too. But yeah, everything else I pretty much cycled through. Yeah, drums. This kit I got, I think just last year, actually, this Tama Club Jam, and then converted it. And it's gone through several different iterations of the conversion, but it's pretty much... Actually, no, sorry, this one I originally bought to convert and it didn't work because I tried the Alesis Nitro module And then I played this one acoustically for a while, and then I played it as a hybrid for a while, and then I brought it back over here, and now I have it set up 100% acoustic. Let's switch kits here. The power of stupid. Well, maybe, I mean, Poop Beans maybe genuinely didn't hear the first part of what I was saying. So, despite the name, they might have been serious. But no, I don't have it, just to answer. My friend Chiaki has it. She lives in Long Island, and her and her husband bought it. So, yeah. Anything you guys want to ask or anything you guys want me to play? I don't really do covers, but I can try to show you guys some kind of drum part if you have a question about something. I didn't really plan what I was doing on the drums today. I just sort of, I didn't even know if this was going to work, to be able to switch from one streaming setup to the other in the midstream. So I wasn't sure it was going to work. I was thinking about that, but it did work. Anyway, here's this kit that I came up with the other day. You guys helped me program on the stream, the 80s saws. So 80s. Oh, Sean Renaud says I was referring to the broken stand. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, you should have saw it. Like, I remember, like, we were tearing down. We played this gig, and he's like, hey, he was helping me tear down the drums. He's like, hey, I think I messed up your stand. And I was like, oh, let me see it. Like, it's probably nothing. And he hands it to me, and, like, I was like, how in the hell did you do this? Like if you look at a hi-hat stand, the legs, I mean, they close one way. You know, you close them in, and the thing goes up. Somehow he managed to push that thing down and close the legs, like, so he basically turned it inside out. It was just insane. I have no idea how he did it. Like, yeah, just really weird. Stands are, like, easily the most annoying part about drums because they weigh so damn much. Like, even if you have such a minimal setup, like this kit, it's just a hi-hat stand. There's a cymbal stand over here. You can't really see it, but right there, and it's actually holding the rack tom too. And then a bass drum mounted ride stand right here. And that's it. But even with just that, it still weighs so much. And I have the throne too. Like, it's like, and if you have a big kit, it's just crazy the amount of weight that a hardware. And even if they make lightweight stands, it's still really heavy. And there's just no way to really have light hardware. I don't know. Maybe I should program another kit. We have this jazzy one. I kind of like that one. Oops. I could make something out of this one. Let's do that. Let's I'm gonna say, well, let's see what's next. Valid X. Okay, so I can save over number 7 brushes because I just don't like that one at all. So I'm gonna go to, oh, too bad you guys can't see the module. I guess I could move the stand, the camera from the bass drum pedal to the module. See, how can I get this over here? Oh, hold on. I know. Have to switch tripods. This is the one I was using the other day. This will work. A little far away. If you're curious about the cameras I'm using here, these are these cheap action cameras from China, and they double as webcams, which is really good because then you can use them in OBS, which is really cool. And they really don't look that bad either. I wish this one was a little bit wider though, just so you guys could see more of the drums. But like I said, I'm going to be moving the whole kit to a different room pretty soon, and then I'll be able to get a better angle anyway, so it won't really matter. But okay, let's go ahead and copy this. So how do I do that again? Yeah, copy. Then source is Jazzy. Then I'm going to put that over the brushes kit. I just do not like that thing. But I do like Jazzy. Jazzy. Okay, so let's go up to the brushes one. Alright, so I'm going to make a better jazz kit. Like, this one's cool. It's actually not too bad. But to me, the toms sound a little bit too dead for jazz, so let's fix those. Let's go to the... Wait, what am I doing? Edit, instrument. And let's see where the decay, let's increase decay. There we go. Because jazz toms are always resonant, and I also think it's pitched too low. Plus 10, let's make it even more. Plus 15. Snare is pretty good. Oh, I want to get rid of that cross stick though. Okay, so let's go. Do any of your snare sounds feature velocity-sensitive rim shot? Yeah, they're all velocity-sensitive. All the rim shots are velocity-sensitive. This one has, if you hit it soft, there's the cross stick, and if you hit it harder, there's the rim. But I want to get rid of that cross stick, so let's just do this one. Yeah, here, how it's velocity sensitive. Those toms, I'm still not totally crazy about those. Let's pick some different toms. I think I know which ones I want to use. Where are they? They're the oyster ones. Actually, birch isn't that bad. Still not quite right. Those are total Phil Collins right there. Ooh, I'm gonna have to use those on something. Vintage. No, where's the... A lot of tom sounds. the TD6. Like, tons of them. I think it has more tom sounds than anything else. Which one was it on before? Oh, standard tom. Why isn't jazz toms used in the jazz kit? I still want to find those oyster ones. Where are they? There we go. Actually, no, it's kind of weird. All right, I'm going to switch back. Let's go to the jazz. What was it? Jazz. I think it's just jazz tom. Jazz 1. Yeah, that one's pretty good. We'll go jazz. What number is that? 357. Shoot, what did I just do? Oh, okay. Ah! $359. Let's do $358 here. They're still not. They're still too low. Like jazz is like. Let's pitch those up a little bit. Switch this too. This crash sounds way too quick to me for jazz. Oh, and it's quick crash. I wonder why. I actually want to change this to a ride. Another ride. What do we got here? This is jazz ride, so let's use, I think there's a dark ride or a crash ride. Use crash ride. That's 651. Do crash ride edge. And let's change the pitches of those. Oh, it's so hot in here. It's harder to get away with slop on electronic drums than it is on acoustic ones. think that hi-hat has to change too. Let's fix that. That doesn't sound very jazzy. It just sounds really thin in different pitches. There's jazz hi-hat. That'll probably work. I mean, if you play it pretty soft, if you're not going too crazy, it doesn't sound that bad. That actually sounds kind of real. Jake says, preaching to the choir on slop, being so hidden on acoustic, getting an electric kit definitely brought my ego down. Yeah, I mean, the snare slop, like for sure, you notice every little tiny, I mean, if you have a good trigger, you'll notice every little thing you do on the snare drum. And kick drum slop, double bass, for sure, like, because even with that sound, like, it just stands out so much. Double bass on this kind of kit would probably sound funny. Let me try something. Actually, that kick drum is kind of cool. It actually kind of sounds like a Bonham kick, too. It's like higher pitched, or like Mitch Mitchell from Jimi Hendrix. That's pretty cool. It's definitely like a 60s. That could work as a 60s rock kit. If I change those crashes. Let's see. Let's change the edge sounds to like a crash. No, wait, I went the wrong way. Where are they? How did I miss them? Sizzle ride. Dark crash ride. Those are rides. Where's the crashes? Oh, there we go. Forgot that before all the effect symbols. I think. There we go. So 605 there. Let's do 60. Actually, I really like the... Oh wait, that's the thin crash. Let me switch this one to the medium. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's like a 60s, sounds like a 60s rock kit. Jimi Hendrix, Mitch Mitchell. That's pretty cool. Or like Ginger Baker. Dun, 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 dun. how's that go? Dun, 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 dun. How that? That sounds pretty cool. Anyway, I'm just totally screwing around here, guys. I have nothing to do, really, so thanks for watching. I think I'm going to end it, but that was pretty fun. And what should I name? I'm going to name this one Ginger. So let's go here. It's cool, though. I'm coming up with a whole library of sounds for the TD6, and I'll eventually post them to download. Because you can transfer, you can transfer over MIDI kits from TD6 to TD6. They don't have SD, but you don't need an SD card. All right, where do I name this again? Forget. It's in common. Here we go. Okay, so this is going to be called Ginger. It's so hot. I might need to go to the studio just because the AC is better there. G, where are you? Then R. Cool. Ginger. Very nice. I'll definitely use that in something. It's got a cool... It almost sounds like... I made a kit like this on the Nitro. I made a 60s drum kit for the Nitro, and it sounds kind of similar to that one that I did. Andrew Conkey says, Happy Wednesday from super rainy Texas, man. Oh, thanks. Happy Wednesday. Here it's super hot. Not raining yet, but it's supposed to later. But it's like crazily hot. How hot is it right now? Well, it says 86, but it's definitely at least that in my apartment. Probably hotter. I just got a notification from Shake Shack. Oh, that sounds pretty good. I don't know. Should I play more or should I go? I'm just going to play. I'll just jam out a little bit. I mute the mic. now I'm super hot. Okay, I need to stop. That was fun. Digital drum solos. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget, just one more time, let me grab it from back here. Hold on. Is my wire going to reach? Don't forget about As the Sun Rises, Deluxe Edition, for sale now on anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com on CD, Digipack CD. And I'm really proud of it. I think it sounds really good. If you missed the whole section of this stream, look in the beginning, or go back and watch the beginning. You can hear some of it and get all the details on the CD. But anyway, yeah, definitely check it out. It's only $10, and I think it's a really good deal. And I'm really proud of the work I did on this. So if you could, support me by picking one up. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon and like button. Keep getting scam calls. And, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys really soon. Probably next week, because I don't think I'll be doing another video this week, but next week I'll have something up, and I'll see you then. Take care.